Welcome to my journey. Today we're going to make some sauerkraut. We're going to start on it. This is like a 3-week process before we can actually can it. So you can't see, I'm going to put the camera down in a minute, but I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 heads of cabbage that was gifted to me. Probably about 50 pounds. And I need to get it off my counter because it's getting on my nerves. But I had to wait for Sebastian to go home, summer to be over, kind of get back to a routine. So that's what we're going to start on today. So let me move the camera down and I'll show you what I'm going to do. Okay, I hope this is a decent angle. I've got to peel off the outer leaves. I've peeled some off, but there's still some spots on these outer leaves that just need to go. See, like bigger spots than what you can cut out. So I'm going to see if I can cut some of these little black areas out. I just want as good a cabbage as I can get. Okay, that looks pretty good. Get you a garbage bowl. You're going to need it. We'll probably empty that one several times. So this is how I always cut my cabbage. I just go side to side and then that leaves the core out. Because like when I make slaw, I don't like the core. I will keep part of what's on the bottom. Now, I have seen, I will keep this off the bottom. But I'm not keeping that core. I'm just not. It may be fine for sauerkraut, but I don't care for it. It's bitter. So what I want to do first is I want to weigh out my cabbage because I want to try to get 5 pounds. You know what? Well, no, because I couldn't. So there's 1. I should have my calculator in here. So there's 1.11. And here is 1.9, 1.13. So that would be almost 3 pounds though. That's what we're going with. Now, what I was saying was, I've seen people cut this on a mandolin and part of it will go and then they get to the end and it just strips and you got to cut it with your knife anyway. So let me get my, I hope that's not too much red in your face. Hold on, I'm gonna go around there and look. Okay, it's not, but you know what, let me do some rearranging. Okay, I think I'll be better off with my bucket over here so I can get to it better. But what I was saying was, if you're gonna cut part of it anyway, just go ahead and cut the whole thing. And I am just cutting it just as thin as I can cut it. And I think this will be just less trouble than fighting with that mandolin, because that girl I was watching, she was fighting with that thing. This is as close to my MAMAW'S. I've got her recipe. And it is, now I ate it growing up. And I'm telling you, best kraut you ever eat. Best kraut you ever eat. But I never recall seeing her water bath it. I never recall seeing her water bath anything. She may have, but I don't know. So, I'm not making it like her, but this is as close to her as I think I can get. So I want to shred and get as close to 5 pounds in these containers. I bought them at the Dollar Tree because I don't have any bowls big enough. When you start fluffing this cabbage up, it really grows on you. So I didn't have bowls big enough for that. So I was lucky enough to find these tubs at Dollar Tree. Now I don't think I want it that long, so I'm going to do a couple cuts through there. You can tell this is messy, so we're just going to dump this in our container. I was thinking not 5 pounds per container. I'm hoping I can get 10 pounds per container. So let me go until I get this full, and then I'll show you the next step. As I was slicing that other cabbage, my mind was wandering because there's no TV on or anything, and I come up with a better way to weigh it. Why I didn't think of this to begin with is we're going to weigh it full, whole. We put it on pound and ounces. So 4.71. I'm going to have to write that down because so 4.7. Okay. Then when I take the cabbage off, oh, this is a sturdy head. Then I will weigh the core, tear that back out, and it is 15.6. How did I get 4? Oh, 15 ounces. I started saying that ain't right, so 16 ounces. That's 1 pound. So that is 3.7 pounds of cabbage. We'll call that 5 pounds between that one and this one. I'm going to call that 5 pounds. So, all right, let me go back to this glorious work. Okay, here's my first 2 heads. I told you, when you fluff it, you get a lot of cabbage. This is only 2 heads of cabbage. It's roughly 6 pounds. I was hoping I could get 10 pounds in there, but I don't know what I was thinking. So for 5 pounds of cabbage, you need 3 tablespoons of cannon salt. And for that extra pound, I'm going to give it a ½ tablespoon. Now here's where it gets messy. You got to get in here and you got to work that cabbage and that salt together. You can't just leave it sitting on the top. Gosh, there's no way I could have done this in a regular sized bowl. 1 head at a time. That would take forever. So you're just going to keep getting down in there as good as you can, turning it over to get the salt down in there. And you can't do this too much. So don't think you're going to overwork it, trust me. You can only do make it better by keeping on. So once you think you've got all the, and I don't, I'll continue this after I turn the camera off. Once you think you got all that salt and that cabbage mixed together, let it sit for 20 to 30 minutes. But during that time, go over there and continue to do this. Get all down in there and massage it because you want to release that liquid. That's what's going to help ferment this cabbage. And when we can it, we've got to have that liquid over top of the cabbage itself. So that's why we want this cabbage to start releasing all of its fluids. So I'm going to continue to do this. And I think I get it to where I need it to be. I'm going to set a timer for 10 minutes. Then I'm going to come massage it again. Then I'm going to set another timer for another 10 minutes. I'm going to massage it again. And I'm going to look and see what the liquid level is. We want a good little bit of liquid down in there. And if it needs to, I'll let it go another 10 minutes. So that is our next step. And while this one's timing, I'm going to be working on these other ones, because that's 2 down, 8 to go. I don't know if you can see. Can you see the water already? You see that glistening? The water is already releasing. So I'll be back. I'll just be back for the jarring step. What always happens as I stand here before you looking like this. This is our first one. It set probably an hour. You know, I forgot to turn that phone on, that camera, while I was doing everything else. There's a good bit of liquid down in there, if you can see it. I'm not sure about this camera angle, but what I was telling you was get in there with it and just squeeze it. When you're tossing it, give it some good massage action to really help that water release. Now I'm using wide mouth jars because it's easier to use this thing. This is a sauerkraut tamper, and I'm going to show you what we're going to do with it. We've already got one layer down in the bottom, and we're wanting, hopefully, some liquid to come up as we mash it down, because we're going to mash it down really hard, because we want to pack this jar just as full as we can pack it. Now you can see that little bit of liquid is sitting on top. And when we get to the top, hopefully we're going to have enough liquid to cover all of it. If not, we can add a salt water solution. So, oh, that's going pretty good. But I wouldn't recommend making kraut this way without a tamper. I meant to put my apron on because I knew this was going to be the messy part. And I don't know if it'd be squirting on me or not, but that's okay. That's all right. I'm excited. I already told David I can't wait to have kraut and weenies with my homemade kraut. Ooh, I can't wait. See how much liquid is forming? That's what we're looking for. That is exactly what we're looking for. And this is not a hard process to make kraut, to can this way. It's just time consuming doing all your slicing, but that just depends on how much kraut you're going to make. I want this at a 1-inch headspace. Okay, can you see there's some little floaters, but if you can see, the liquid is over top of the kraut. That is what we're looking for. Let me get a little rag right quick. I just want to clean my rim off. We're not canning it, we're not sealing it, but I just think I need to clean the lid off. Now you just need to use whatever you're going to can with. Don't use a jar lid that you're just using as a lid. Use the seal that you're actually going to can with. And we're just going to do it loosely because we want a little bit of air to be able to get through there to help the fermentation process. So I'm going to just go through. I'll tell you how much. I believe I'll get one more jar and a partial jar out of that 5 pounds, 6 pounds. So I don't know if I can get 3 or not. About a pound a jar is what you're looking at. So I will just go, and as each one becomes ready, I will jar it up. And then that's all there is to it. I'll see you back when I get everything jarred up. I got the last one done, and I had this much liquid left, about 2 cups. And what I'm going to do with some of these, they're not exactly, you can see that it's not exactly full. You pack it down and the liquid's up. And I didn't really give this a whole inch. But, hold on, let me spill it. The kraut will start to decompress, I guess you could say. And so it kind of sunk down. So I want to add some of this liquid to some of these ones that are not quite full enough, because I don't want to waste it. I ended up getting, well, I'll show you. Let me just do this and then I'll show you. Here's our kraut. I brought it over here. I had a sink of hot soapy water where I was washing my jars, and I just stuck each one down in there and rinsed it off, and then rinsed it off with fresh water because it'd be salty. There was little, giblets of kraut holding on. But looky here, we got 15 jars. So there was approximately 40 pounds of cabbage. Take out the core, and we had approximately 30 pounds of usable cabbage. So 30 pounds of cabbage made 15 quarts of kraut. 1 quart is not all the way full, but I filled it up with liquid, so it'll be fine. But these now will sit for 3 weeks. I will set Alexa, I don't want to say her, for me or you to light up to remind me that it's time to can these in 3 weeks. So in the blink of an eye, we'll be right back. So here's our kraut. I want you to look. Can you see? If you can tell. Maybe you can tell. Oh, see, there we go. It has fermented and bubbled out. We're going to take them in there and wash them off. Now, my mama, this brings back the memory that, so when you're letting these sit, put them in a pan. Because I knew they'd do it. And you leave the lid, like we said, a little loose to give it some air. And she had hers out in her shed, and she would go out there when they would do this and take the hose pipe and just squirt them off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take them in there and rinse them off. So let's carry them in there. What I'm doing is I'm just taking them and rinsing them off. I'm not going to change the lid. I'll set them over here. I thought I was recording that one, but I wasn't. I'll set them over here and just let them drain. And this is I brought them in here in a box, so I couldn't carry all this, but you can see all the liquid. I tell you, it's going to be some good kraut. I can smell it. It's going to be good. I hope it tastes like Mama's. That's my best wish. So, let me wash all my kraut. Well, it has been 3 weeks. If you can see, I got all my kraut back here behind me. You saw that I had to go through and rinse it off. Now, oh gosh. Oh, that smell is wonderful. Oh, that's a nice kraut right there. Hold on, let me lick my finger. Oh, that's good. Okay, so what we want to do is add hot water up to the 1/2 inch headspace. I'm going to wipe the top off. I'm going to wipe the lid off. And then, let's see. We're just going to put it back on. Now, I'll have to do that to all these. And what I'm going to do, I have 2 canner pots back here that I think will get everything. I think. Maybe it won't. I might have to do an extra load. No, because I think each one will hold 8. Anyway, so I'm going to do that to each one of these. I'm going to set them down in cold water. Fill them 2 inches, 1 to 2 inches above with water. And I'm going to turn the stove on. I'm going to let it come up to the boil, and then I'm going to boil it for 20 minutes. And that will, after that, I'm trying to think what I was going to say. I'll let it cool off. I'm not really sure, because like I said, I've never done a lot of boiling water canning. I think maybe you let it cool off 10 minutes or something. I'll look it up and see. But anyway, I'm going to go through, add water to each one of these, pop them down in there, and start the canning process. Okay, it was 7. They each hold 7, so I was able to get all but 1, and I put that one in the refrigerator. See, what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to cook it partly on the small one and partly on the big one in the back, hopefully to help it go as fast as this one. But I forgot to tell you, make sure you wipe the rim and everything off real good. But put this in room temperature water. I just ran, when I filled it up, I just ran, that one goes over here, the hot and cold water together, and so it came out. Oh, they both got a little bit of, anyway. So once that comes up to the boil, then it will be 20 minutes. Here is my kraut. You're just supposed to let it sit in the canner 5 minutes, but my stove keeps cooking even when you turn it off, so I'll let it sit a little bit longer than that. And I'm going to cover them with a towel and let them sit for at least 12 hours. I haven't heard anything pop yet, but everything looks sealed. I'm not saying it's sealed, but it all looks sealed. So that's how I made kraut. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you tomorrow for a menu plan and grocery haul.